frozen. They aren't fighting the cold, they are learning to breathe with it. This is the land that remembers the beginning of time, and it is waiting. The silence was never an invitation, it was indifference. Beneath the Yamal permafrost, something has been sleeping for 40,000 years. It still has hair. Its last meal is still inside. And in the forest, the largest wildcat on Earth is watching. Chapter 1. The Geography of Cosmic Cold. Yakutsk, the largest city built entirely on permafrost. Not near it. On it. Every building in this city stands on steel columns driven into the frozen earth. Because if the heat of a building touched the permafrost directly, the ground would thaw, shift, and swallow it. The pipes run above ground, insulated veins protecting a fragile civilization against a soil that would warp, fracture, and swallow these buildings whole if it ever dared to melt. In January, the average temperature is -40. -40 is the point where Celsius and Fahrenheit meet, the single temperature where both scales agree. The Yakut people call it the season of white breath. At -40, human breath crystallizes the instant it leaves the body. The air around you sparkles. Oymyakon. The coldest permanently inhabited place on Earth. In 1924, a temperature of -71 degrees was recorded here. The thermometer broke. They estimated the last few degrees. The permafrost beneath this village extends 300 meters down. At the bottom of that depth, the Earth is the same temperature it was before anyone thought to measure it. The Yakut horse did not originate here. It came with the people thousands of years ago and stayed. Its coat thickens every autumn to an insulating depth that would keep the animal alive, at temperatures that would kill every other breed on Earth. It does not shelter. It does not wait for the snow to clear. it digs. With its front hooves, it breaks through the ice crust to find the frozen grass beneath. It has not been bred for speed, not for strength, for one thing only: to endure. The Saka people have a legend. In the beginning, there was a great celestial bull, Ar Ogonyor, whose breath created the seasons. In winter, he blew from the north. The air froze. The rivers stopped, and the world became still. They did not ask the bull to stop. They learned the temperature of his breath, and they dressed accordingly. This is not survival. It is commerce. The cold is not an enemy. It is the landscape itself. But this cold also preserves a darker memory. Beneath the snow of the eastern tracts lies the highway of bones. Every mile of this road was paved by the hands of the forgotten, whose final breaths were claimed by the very soil they were forced to cut. Chapter 2: The Spine of Fire and Ash. Kamchatka. A peninsula the size of California at the edge of the Pacific Ring of Fire. 300 volcanoes, 29 of them active. The ground here has never decided whether it belongs to the earth or to the fire beneath it. Kluchevskaya erupts on average every 3 years. The ash cloud from its last major eruption disrupted air traffic across the Pacific for 11 days. Local villages did not evacuate. They have lived within range of this mountain for 12 generations. They know its rhythms the way a sailor reads the swell. The Valley of Geysers was discovered in 1941 by a single botanist walking alone. She heard the hissing before she saw it. She smelled the sulfur. She climbed a ridge, and below her, a valley was breathing. She sat down. She waited for an hour before she understood what she was looking at. That is what it means to discover something, not to name it, not to photograph it. To sit with it long enough to let it become real. In autumn, the rivers of Kamchatka run red. Not with heat, with salmon. Sockeye, pink. Coho. Tens of millions of fish returning to die in the same water where they were born. The brown bears of Kamchatka are the largest on Earth. They spend the summer eating roots and berries. By September, they need the salmon. They stand in the current, patient as monks, waiting. One strike, clean, precise. The river does not pause. The salmon do not stop. Only the bear is still, surrounded by the quiet violence of abundance. The Itelmen people, the original people of Kamchatka, held a festival each autumn to thank the salmon for returning. They believed the fish chose to come, that the river was not a trap, but an invitation. It is a more honest relationship with nature than most of what replaced it. What sleeps beneath the Yamal tundra is not a metaphor. It is 40,000 years old. It still has hair. We will reach it. Between the active fires of the east and the frozen lakes of the south lies the largest forest on Earth. A wilderness so vast that families have vanished into its depths for generations, completely oblivious to the rise and fall of empires outside. Chapter 3: The Deep Mirror. Lake Baikal holds 20% of the world's unfrozen fresh water. If every other freshwater lake and river on Earth ran dry, Baikal alone could supply the world for 5 years. The water in Baikal is so transparent that in some areas, visibility extends to 40 meters. At the surface, in winter, the ice forms in layers. Each layer a different texture, a different clarity. Standing on it is standing on a translucent crust that breathes, expands, and contracts like a living organ. The decomposing matter on the floor of the lake releases methane. The gas rises through the water column, freezes on contact with the cold layer beneath the ice, and forms columns of suspended white circles. Stacked disks of trapped air, sealed inside the frozen lake. Scientists call them methane chimneys. The Buryat people have known them for centuries. They called them the breath of the sleeping giant. The Nerpa is found nowhere else on Earth. A seal in a lake, 3,000 kilometers from the nearest ocean. No one knows with certainty how it arrived. The lake itself is 25 million years old, one of the oldest bodies of water on the planet. The seal arrived sometime in that window. In geological terms, recently. The Nerpa navigates beneath the ice in complete darkness, using its whiskers to detect water movement. It has no natural predators in this lake. It lives up to 55 years. In winter, it sleeps for 23 hours a day beneath the ice. It has perfected the art of stillness. The Buryat people have lived beside Baikal for at least 2,000 years. In their tradition, the lake is a living being. Dalai Nor, the sacred sea. To take from it without acknowledgement is to break a contract that precedes any written law. The shamans who still practice here do not perform for visitors. They perform for the lake. "600,000 square kilometers of forest. The sovereign of the eastern forest is still moving. Its territory is vast, its patience absolute. We will enter its domain soon." Chapter 4: The Steel Serpent. The Trans-Siberian Railway took 13 years to build. It crosses 8 time zones. It passes through the coldest inhabited places on Earth, across rivers that flow for 3,000 kilometers without a single bridge, through forests that have no name in any language spoken in a city. The journey from Moscow to Vladivostok takes 7 days. Most passengers do not make the full crossing. But those who do describe a specific experience on day 3, something changes. The urgency of departure fades. The anxiety of arrival has not yet arrived. There is only the train, the window, and the forest that does not end. Tobolsk, the first capital of Siberia. Built by Cossack explorers in 1587, at that time, no map was large enough to contain the territory that lay beyond its walls. The early imperial cartographers reached this frontier and stopped. Their charts showed detailed rivers that suddenly end in blank spaces marked by a single notation. Beyond this point, the world is silent. The empire sent its dissidents here. Dostoevsky walked these streets in chains. The last Russian Tsar spent his final months of peace inside this house, watching the ice floes drift down the Irtysh River, unaware that his ordinary life was nearing its end. Chapter 5. The Nomads of the End of the World. The Nenets people have been migrating across the Yamal Peninsula for at least 1,000 years. Each year, a round journey of over 1,000 kilometers, following the reindeer, following the lichen, following the cold. Their home can be packed onto wooden sleds in a few hours. They possess no fixed address. In their language, the word for home does not designate a location. It means simply where we are at this moment. The Yamal Peninsula is changing in ways no model fully predicted. As the permafrost thaws, methane pockets trapped since the last Ice Age release without warning. The ground collapses inward. Craters appear overnight, dozens of meters wide, opened in silence. The Nenets call them the mouth of the underworld. The reindeer routes are changing. The lichen is retreating. The migration is lengthening. The Nenets do not speak of this in terms of catastrophe. They speak of it the way their ancestors spoke of any difficult season, as something that requires attention, patience, and adjustment. But the adjustment is harder now. And the patience is being tested by a clock that does not care for tradition. The permafrost is a freezer that has not been opened in 40,000 years. When it begins to thaw, it returns what it held. This is Lyuba, a woolly mammoth calf preserved in absolute perfection for 40,000 years. This is not a fossil, it is flesh. The skin is intact. The wool is still stained with the mud of its final steps. The cells are so well preserved that scientists have mapped its genetic code, shifting the prospect of resurrection from myth to laboratory reality. This discovery brings a profound question. If we recreate this creature, what world will it inhabit? Chapter 6. The Last Predators. The Altai. A massive mountain range where 4 nations meet at a single geographic point. Here, the native Tuvan people perfected throat singing, a technique designed to mimic the natural acoustics of the valleys. A single body becomes a physical landscape, singing both the earth and the sky at the same time. Thousands of miles to the east, in the dense forests bordering the Pacific, lives the monarch of the taiga, the Amur taiga, the largest wild cat on Earth. It patrols 500,000 square miles of forest in absolute secrecy. It does not hunt the landscape, it rules it. The Amur taiga was almost lost. In the mid-20th century, fewer than 40 remained. The forest began to degrade, its ecosystem collapsing in silence. Then, the wilderness was protected, and the taiga returned. Today, 600 of them claim these woods. The hunters of the Nanai people say the taiga chooses who sees it, that it is not a matter of tracking. It is a matter of being found worthy. Most people never are. Above the taiga's forest, above the valley of the throat singers, above where the last reindeer graze, there is another presence, rarer, higher. The snow leopard, a predator that has never accepted human contact. Fewer than 4,000 remain, watching a wilderness we will never fully map. Siberia does not look for our understanding. It demands only that we approach it with a silence equal to its own. Seven time zones. The deepest lake, the oldest forest, and a frozen earth that is still deciding what it will reveal and what it will keep forever. Frozen.